Oh, hi, it's Elizabeth, and today we're going to learn about mirroring our audience to show our EQ. Have you ever noticed how romantic partners mirror each other's body language? When one leans in, the other leans in. Sometimes they even walk in the same step. Well, they're doing what's called mirroring, and that's what we're going to learn about today, how you can mirror your audience to show your EQ when writing emails. So, what is mirroring? It's when you reflect your audience's preferences and style of communication. These strategies require careful observation. You've really got to pay attention to what your audience likes. And that's one reason why revision is so important. So in this video, we're going to focus on mirroring strategies related to formality, timing, and culture of your message. When you use mirroring, your audience is probably not going to pick up on it. They're not going to know why they like your message, they're just going to like it. That's because you're making it easier on them as a reader by adapting to their preferences. You're showing that you care, which is going to build you even more social capital and get you better responses. So first, how can we mirror formality? Usually, when we're communicating with new people, especially with an upward flow of communication, when the person is above you in a hierarchy, we want to assume a formal tone. We want to sound conversational but professional. We always include a title like Mr. or Ms. or however they address themselves. We want to use dear or hello instead of hey or hi. We always want to adapt to our reader, especially if they're more powerful than us. So usually, when we're writing an email to someone that we don't know, we say, Dear Mr. So-and-so. The body of our message, sincerely, Elizabeth. But let's say this person writes you back and they drop the dear and the sincerely. You need to drop the dear and the sincerely on your response because they're telling you, without even knowing it, that they don't want that formality anymore. So whatever your relationship with the reader is, you want to adapt to them and mirror their style of formality. Number 2 is timing. So you want to ask yourself, when is the reader most likely to actually see this message? Email is an asynchronous communication channel. That means that communication is not happening in real time. You send the message, but you can't always be sure when the other person is going to read it. This is really important to think about if you're working on global teams or communicating with people in different time zones. You also want to think about cultural standards of the organization and the nationality of the person that you're working with. For example, I worked for an organization where no one answers emails on the weekends, so I know if I have to get in touch with someone, a text is a better channel. You also want to pick up on the reader's personal preferences that you've noticed if you have a relationship with them. For example, I used to work for a boss who would answer my emails late at night. That's because I was editing her work, and that's when she had time to actually get to our messages. So I made sure that before I went to bed every night, I would check my email one last time. And even if I didn't have a deliverable ready for her or an answer to her question, I sent her a message acknowledging that I got her email. And this always made her feel really confident and taken care of. Number 3, we want to think about culture. So this is what's common sense to your audience. And the answer depends on their culture. We want to observe that we have our own cultural biases that affect the way we communicate, and so do other people. Again, we want to think about both organizational culture and national culture and norms. So for example, at one organization that I work with, we have a no politics rule. So I know never put information about politics in my emails. You also want to think about idioms and slang that may not translate with other cultures. Things like Monday morning quarterback or hit it out of the park may not make sense to a non-American audience. For example, I lived in Norway for a while working at a business school, and I was so surprised when everyone, even my bosses, used so many smiley faces in their messages. But I adapted and added more smiley faces to my emails because I wanted to show my audience that I was adapting to their culture. So in summary, By mirroring our readers' preferences for formality, timing, and culture, we show them that we thought before we wrote. We increase our credibility, and we increase the chances that they'll respond.